Consulting an attorney at the time of Raymond's death was the last thing on my mind, because these kind of sudden accidents are a mother's worst nightmare, because no mother expects to bury her child. But my son and other relatives and friends here in Miami had already started consulting when they had heard how the accident occurred. They realized that something was really wrong, that a tractor trailer would be making a U-turn on a highway. But I knew nothing about the details that had not been shared with me at the time. And I was just totally immersed in grief and couldn't think about it. But some weeks later, a friend who's a lawyer contacted some friends here, and they referred her to Radson, and that's how we came to Radson. And I've never regretted that decision. The process was very easy. All I remember is that my friend, she made the call. Stuart agreed to meet with us. We came and met with him. He listened and had reviewed basically what had happened, and he said, yes, I will do it. And we didn't have to think of how to pay him. It was just really was about how do we get justice in this case for Raymond. What I liked most was the way in which Stuart embraced us, the way in which he made us feel welcome, and that we were like the only clients he had, and you just got that feeling. You came to the office or you called him, he was never too busy, he was never not available. Every single question he would ask you for your decision. He would want to clarify things. He was constantly back and forth telling you what the next step, totally transparent. There was not one decision he made without asking for your opinion on moving forward. Stuart and his firm, and I'm adding, and his firm, not just Stuart, every single member of his staff treated me and my family or whoever talked to him on my behalf as if they were just family. And I think every single member of the staff, and that has gone on from beyond, it didn't just end with the case ending, it still continues, our relationship with the firm. The first takeaway for me was Stuart's need to understand who we were and what my family was about, that he actually came to the island for about 3 days to visit, to get to know who Raymond's friends were. He met his godmother. He went to where Raymond went to school. We went to the cemetery. He saw Raymond's grave. And it's as if that was, to me, unbelievable that an attorney would want to be part of who you were, to really understand who it was he was fighting for. What I learned from the case, because over the period of the probably about 2-3 years that it took, when I felt sometimes I would just want to give up and forget about it, there were too many things. What I came to learn is that the process and the extent of the investigations and the research that was done, the experts that were brought in, gave me a full sense of what really happened with my son that night. And that brings me a lot of comfort, that I got to know exactly what happened, and we got justice. And what I hope is that through that no other family, we know that there were 2 other families involved that night, but we hope that out of this case that there would have been some kind of remedial action that would help other road users on that highway. A lot of friends asked me afterwards, well, why did you, agree to go to trial and not just settle. And at first, when Stuart explained it, it wasn't too clear to me, but I realize now a settlement, it's like, here you are, go on your merry way. I remember the deposition, one of the lawyers had asked me that question, how much money would satisfy you? This is really not about money, and it wasn't about money for Stuart. I realized that it is really about justice, and this is what the trial afforded us, going through the process and getting justice for Raymond. I feel that I could tell the story in court. It was understood, and it was clear to everybody that, we really cannot always allow big corporations to get away with negligent actions, and important it is. And in Raymond's memory, we have established a foundation, and that's how we're honoring him.